Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Evolve with Emily show. I am your host, Emily Hayden. Make sure to check out the Evolve with Emily show YouTube channel. It is linked below. We'll be putting a lot of the interviews on there. I also have a bunch of different links on there, so check the description box or the show notes as always. Today, I'm doing an episode of Girl Talk, and I have two of my friends with me. So the first friend, her name is Kat, and you guys actually just saw her on a most recent episode. Kat, welcome back.
Thank you.
And the second one is actually a new hire within my brand. So I put out that I was looking for a personal assistant, and I got a bunch of responses, but there was one response that stuck out literally from the very first DM. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I think this girl's it. And I was like, no, I can't do that. Don't get sold, Emily. Don't get sold too quick. Like there's a lot of, and then we had some further conversation. We actually kept in contact because we weren't ready to hire just then. And then when we were ready to hire, I actually reached back out to her and I was like, hey, make sure to put your application in to Becca, who is my director of operations, because she did all the interviews, and she put her application in. Long story short, she's awesome and she's here, and her name is Jess.
Wow. And she rescues turtles.
Wait, tell the rescuing turtle story.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm driving over here to Emily's this morning and I see a turtle in the road and I'm like thinking he's going to get run over for sure. And so I just pulled over and went to move him, and he was a big guy, like very heavy. And I was like shocked because he was, I don't know, I wasn't expecting that. And he peed on me, which is kind of embarrassing, but whatever. I ended up getting him across the street and he like scurried off into the water, and so I saved him. So.
She walks in the door and she goes, a turtle peed on me. And I was like, oh, but then you actually see a little pee mark on her jeans.
Yeah, it was great.
I was like, you're not kidding.
No. What an entrance.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I was like, I've hired the right person.
Exactly. Animal rescuer over here.
Yes, I love it. Okay, we're going to break the ice a little bit with some would you rather questions before we get into some of the deeper topics. I love girl talk because we get to sit here and just have girl talk, and it's so nice when their boys aren't around. We can just say whatever we please. So we're going to let you guys in onto this. But first, some would you rather questions, and these are just very random off of this website that I found. I was going to say off the hip, but it's clearly not. Just random in my mind. Would you rather live alone or with roommates? Go.
Alone.
Would you rather earn more money and be busier, or earn less money and have more time for yourself?
Less money, more time.
Yeah, probably less money.
And this is also coming from two women that are both in happy relationships. So I kind of feel like that plays a role.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, I'm fine being a little busier at the moment. Would you rather pursue your dreams or have a stable, high-earning job that maybe you don't love?
Pursue my dreams for sure.
Would you rather spend a weekend without your phone or a weekend without your laptop?
Laptop.
Would you rather spend a month without Instagram or TikTok?
Bye, Instagram. TikTok all the way.
I suck at TikTok, so I guess TikTok goes.
Yeah, that makes sense. From the TikToker.
What about
Yeah.
you, though? Because you
What about
just
me?
started TikTok, so would you have to give that up if they said?
I would love to not have Instagram for sure for a month. If I could do that for real, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Honestly, I might need to make this happen. I mean, I would have someone post for me, clearly. Can't let my business die.
Right.
And our Instagram already hates me because I don't post all the time. But I am getting better now that I have help and we're busting out a lot more content.
Yes.
But yeah, I love being disconnected, and I love being around people and being able to have real conversations. One of the most annoying thing in the world to me is when you get together, even like this, with a group of girlfriends, and like one of them's just like on their phone or like not paying attention, or they like want to take an Instagram story of it, which is fine, but then they're spending 10 minutes making the perfect story, and you're like, you're missing out on all my life things I'm trying to tell you.
Exactly.
I agree.
You're like, what did I just say?
Put
like,
the put the phone down.
Yeah.
Have you ever? I know you guys have done that with your boyfriends. What did I just say?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All
Always.
the time. Or like literally last night we were watching a movie that he picked. He was like, I want to watch this, and I was like, this is gonna suck. Like I could tell by the description it was not gonna be good. Like 5 minutes in, he like picks up his phone and he's on his phone. And he's on it for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, we're watching a movie you picked.
Oh my God.
Like, can you please put your phone down?
Yeah.
He was like watching videos on his phone. I was like, what are you doing?
Okay, to be fair, how many of you turned on a movie and then got on your phone the whole time and had no idea what happened?
Oh, I've totally done that for
If I'm
sure.
on my own, always. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Always.
But like if like
Yeah.
he's there and he does it, I'll pause that. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo. He made me watch this old movie called The Professional because he wanted to dress up like the characters for a party next month.
Shut up.
And it's 1990s movie, so the camera angles are already terrible. It is, sorry to the professional movie makers, the worst movie ever. He's in there on his phone playing around. I'm like, you made me watch this. And he's like, then he falls asleep. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
I will tell you, I noticed that about myself. If I'm with somebody and I'm watching a movie, I won't even want to pick up my phone
Right.
once. But there's something about like watching a movie by yourself.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, it's just not as good as if you're with somebody.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like girls together watch movies. That's what you do. You watch it, eat snacks.
Yes.
And whereas if you're on your own, you're like,
Though I will say, I tried to do a girls' night with my girls in California once, and we're like, oh yeah, let's watch. It was some movie, and we get there, and like it ends up just being conversation the whole time. So I'm like, why do we even try to watch the movie unless we're all like sold on the movie?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because then someone's conversating, and you're like, could you please shut up?
Yeah.
Please shut up. I'm trying to hear how Dorothy got upset about her aunt. I don't know. Okay, back to would you rather. Would you rather use a dating app or go on a blind date?
Oh God.
So essentially, like, know who you're going to go on a date with, or maybe go on a blind date.
I would say blind date.
You
Because
would?
I don't like dating apps. Like I never understood them. I never was on them. Thank goodness I don't have to be on them now. But like I just find like when you assume what you know before, like, oh, this person, you kind of like miss out on someone who might be really good. So like a blind date, he might be bad, he might be good. At least you have dinner and you might, have an experience and a good story to tell or a good joke or two. So
That is beautiful.
I like that. That's a really good point. I was going to say dating app, even though I've never been on one. But I think I switched to blind date.
She's like, I changed my answer. See, this is why you have productive girl talk, because you provide different perspective that might change your behavior or your actions in a good way. Let's see. Would you rather go without your phone or go without dinner? That's so rude.
Phone for sure. I need food. I'll get like hangry.
This is a would you rather questions for teens, but we're going to do it anyways.
I love it. Definitely phone. I'll go without it. I need my food.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Go without phone. Sorry. not
Emily
food.
and you.
I for sure would go without my phone in a heartbeat. Would you rather? These suck. Hold on, let's go.
Would I
Let's go
rather
down.
what? Sorry?
Wait, this says hard would you rather questions. Oh, this is
Oh,
like
okay.
dark.
Oh.
Would you rather live forever or pass naturally in your sleep?
I would
Holy moly.
way rather pass naturally in my sleep. I don't want to live forever. Like,
I don't know. Like, that's hard because, like, I mean, it would be lonely to live forever because you'd have to see all the
Exactly.
people you love die.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
And then, like,
That's horrible.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like vampires go through every time. Like, and they
Aw,
can't sleep.
they're
So maybe,
vampires.
And they can't
yeah, maybe being a vampire just sucks. Like, you can't sleep. You're white. Get some bronzer, please. You're white. Like,
yeah, you can't go in the sun
You
at all.
can't go in the sun.
yeah,
like
you
what?
can't
And you
feel the
get to have
warmth
to
of the
live
sun.
forever. Yeah. I mean, ugh.
So we would not rather be vampires. We know
No,
that.
definitely not.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
No, these are too dark. Wow.
I kinda
not
liked
even
it,
gonna
though.
say those out loud. There's some others we'll tell you later.
Okay.
Would you rather marry for love or financial security?
Love all the way.
Love. I tell you what, I've been with people who like basically have it all, and I've been with people who have nothing at all, and I was way happier with the person that had literally nothing.
Yep.
Those things don't really matter to me, though I do believe it's important to be financially responsible and making good choices for yourself. So I think that it does play a role in a sense. Like you want someone that is seeking progress in their lives no matter where they're at. But for me, I think those things those things don't actually matter. Like
not
what
the be all and
matters
end all.
is like who they are, how they treat people, you know, what they're doing in their lives. For me, like if they are pursuing their purpose in life, or if they're just kind of like aimlessly going around, like those things matter. But okay, we're good. We're good. We're warmed up. We're ready to go. So I figured it would be a cool idea to do a little advice column. And so you guys are going to give advice. Why do you both laugh?
You want my advice?
Yes, it's gonna be a lot easier than you think, because It's called What Would You Tell Your, and then it's going to be different versions of yourself.
Okay.
So it's advice to your younger self. Okay. So the first one is, what would you tell your high school self? Just one piece of advice that you would tell your high school self. As I sip my tea, my Boston and the Brit tea, which is so delicious.
I love that you have the pinky out now because I told you all.
It should be straight, not curling, right? It's curling because the cup is so
I didn't want to say anything, but
right? It should be straight. Can I do this? Or
it's
is that
hard
cheating?
though because it's a heavy mug. Normally it's like
I
the
know, it's
I
such a
can't
heavy-
even do it on. It's like really heavy.
What if I grab the mug? Is that
Yeah, you good.
okay? We're gonna do this.
So proper.
Just one piece of advice that you would tell your younger self.
High school self.
High school. Like maybe something that you just like cared about too much in high school or struggled with.
Yeah, I used to give a lot of time in high school to like the relationship that I was in. And I would have probably given my advice is just don't commit to one relationship, whether it be, boyfriend or friendship, because there's so much more out there and you have so much more to learn and you're young and it does feel like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is the love of my life or the best friend or whatever. It's great, but don't close yourself off to other people and other experiences, because I missed out on a couple of years of my teens because I put all of my energy into one relationship. And I look back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was not what I have now. And I went through all this to get this. And so, yeah, that's my piece of advice.
I love that.
That's so funny because I was going to say something similar. I was just going to say break up with him.
Just break up with him.
Break up with him.
I love it.
I did the exact same, like all through high school, same guy. And I missed out on so much stuff, so many opportunities, because that kind of went into college too. So I missed out on a lot of opportunities because I was like, well, what will he say? What will he think? Is he going to want me to do this? And so, I would say maybe focus more on your friendships. Like, sure, have fun, have a boyfriend, date and stuff, but maybe don't have that be like your top priority.
Yeah. I'm just going to completely echo what you guys are saying, because I dated one guy freshman through sophomore year and then one guy junior and senior year. So like both, all of high school I was dating somebody. And I agree. Like think about all the time that you spent with them or spent texting with them. What if we had put that effort into our girl friendships, or even just friendships in general? We could have probably cultivated some better friendships. Or at least I know that I could have.
Even my mom, I always feel bad because I'm like, I spent from the age of 17, I was, this boy. And I used to go and leave her and she'd have so many nights when I wish I could get them back and go back and be like, I wish I stayed in and watched that movie with you instead of going over to my boyfriend's house,
Okay, so high school girls listening, skip the movie date.
Hang out with your mom.
Hang out with your mom or your dad or your sibling. Just every now and then. You don't always have to skip the movie date, but like listen to us, girls.
Once in a while.
Once in a while, just tell him no. And if he doesn't accept your no, leave him.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what is one piece of advice that you would tell your heartbroken self? So anytime that you've experienced heartbreak, what's just one thing that you would tell yourself?
Time is a healer. Like don't like try and, be sad and just be sad and let yourself be sad. Don't be upset about being sad. But eventually in a few weeks or a few months, it's going to get better and you'll realize why that happened. And it's just give it time. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be like, oh my God, I've got to get over him. I've got to go #new life and get out. Cause you're just going to you're going to cover up what you need to feel. You have to feel it. It was love. It was a relationship. Mourn it. Then, work on yourself and move on from it. But it's like, it'll take time. It doesn't just happen overnight. Yeah. So
that's so good.
That's a good one. I guess for me, I would say, like everything happens for a reason. And so even though you're hurt and you're sad and you're struggling, there's a reason for that. And it's going to probably teach you something. You're going to learn something. You're going to be better because of it. So probably just keep that in mind. Like everything happens for a reason and you're going to come out better.
Yeah, I love that. And I think for me, one thing that I would tell my heartbroken self is there's different versions of that, right? There's like a high school heartbroken, there's like a college, there's like a different. So we're going to go to like the college heartbroken, because I was quite the partier in college. Any of my college friends know that. What's up? And honestly, I really hope and I like wish that people now would stop normalizing numbing your feelings when you're going through something hard. Like, I'm sure you guys have been in rooms where it's like, oh, you're heartbroken, screw him, let's go get messed up tonight, like, let's go. And so it's like, yeah, and like everyone encourages you to do that. And it's like, honestly, the worst thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Because guess what? You're going to be the girl at that party that's crying, because by the time the alcohol hits deep enough, you're going to reach that part of yourself that you're trying to hide, and it just comes out, and that's what's going to happen. So don't try to mask what you're feeling, or don't try to just kind of like hide behind any substances. Truthfully, like, seek some healing. Like, if you're actually going through heartbreak, be like, you know what? This is what it is. Just like you're going to go to the gym to get more healthy and more fit. If you're heartbroken, you need to go to the gym, so to speak, in that area. Maybe it looks like therapy. Maybe it looks like opening up to a close friend or parents or people like us who have no problem kind of like looking, to you and saying like, hey, I've been there. These are things that have helped me. Try meditating, try, living in gratitude, try hitting the gym, maybe avoid alcohol just for this period of time. Like, I think it's actually, that's one thing I promote in my program is in my 90-day Evolve X program, we do a sobriety requirement. And the reason for that isn't to say that you can't ever have alcohol ever again, or drugs, or whatever you choose to do. It's not that at all. It's just to say, let's make this the period of life, the period of time in your life that you get the most amount of clarity that you've ever had. And that's what being sober really does for you, and sober consistently. Because a lot of people don't realize that even if they're just doing it every Friday or every Friday and Saturday, you're dampening that version of yourself, and you're doing it consistently. And you're also like, that gives you time to hide behind those things. So I think it's so important to really address what you're actually going through. And if you are like really hurting, especially if you're hurting, take a period of time where you don't use substances and seek out that help in a professional setting and a friendship setting, however you need to. So, okay, we are going to give advice to our lonely selves. A moment in life when you felt lonely. What is something, if you could like grab your own shoulders, what is something that you would tell yourself that is so lonely?
I would probably say to reach out to somebody and to not feel like you're carrying everything by yourself, because that can make you feel even more lonely when like you feel like you don't have someone to talk to. But if you actually do reach out to somebody, you actually probably do have someone to talk to, and someone who's been through what you're going through. And that really helps, I think.
Yeah. And that's so hard too, to actually be in a hard spot and then reach out. I know for myself, even today, it's something I have to like practice, because it's so hard, because it makes you vulnerable.
Right.
And I think in this day and age, it's kind of, it's funny, because we have this day and age of like being authentic online, but like, how authentic are you in person?
Yeah.
And so I think those moments require us to get really vulnerable, to say like, hey, I'm really not doing that well, so I love that piece of advice. What would you tell your lonely self?
Kind of two things. One would be kind of linked to what we just said about don't, hide behind substances. Because I know when I've had period of times in my life where I'm just like, I'll go home and I would have drank and done things to make myself feel better, and that never made myself feel better. And then two, it's okay to be lonely and alone, but try and fill the time with, like you said, reading a book or doing something, listening to music, doing something. Just accept that, okay, maybe this stage in my life, I am lonely right now, but let me do something in this moment to kind of make this lonely time as like a positive, and say, I'm going to do some stuff on myself and read a book and do some, like you say, meditating. And then eventually that season will be over and you will, come out of it, because you can't be lonely forever.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think my piece of advice would be on what the last thing you just said. You can't be lonely forever. I always like to meet, like, I always say that there's like this narrative, or there's these lies that we start to believe in our head that like, I'm going to be lonely for forever. And so the best way to beat those lies is with the truth. And the truth is, you have so many beautiful moments ahead of you that you have yet to experience, that you can't even imagine right now, because it's not a part of your reality, but it is there. So like, you might be at the bus stop number 4, and that, happiness and friendships and connection is at bus stop 7. You have to keep going, because you're going to get to that bus stop and be so glad that you didn't give up.
Yeah.
It's like I used to tell myself, it's not a bad life, it's just a bad moment. So
I
bigger
love
picture,
that.
this is the little picture right now. It's not a bad life, it's just a bad moment.
Oh, that's huge. And we all have bad moments. Even when life gets good, we have bad moments.
Right.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it's okay. Okay, what would you tell your insecure self?
How long have you got?
I know.
I'll list one real quick in a real quick sentence.
Yeah.
Wear the shorts.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter. Like, it's so funny being in a healthy relationship now, and all the things that I worried about, like, oh, I need my fake nails, I need to make sure I don't have this little chub, I need this spot here, and all those weird things, and I'm getting bold and all this crazy stuff. It doesn't matter, because when you find that one person or good friendships that love you no matter what, that stuff really doesn't matter. And so just don't sweat it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I would definitely say that too. Like, wear the bikini, wear the shorts. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, we're all kind of like our worst critics most of the time. Like, you wouldn't say something to your friend that you say to yourself. You know, like, we can just be so hard on ourselves. So, yeah, just shake it off.
Yeah.
Have fun. Like, don't be so, like, down on yourself.
Don't worry about what people think, because they're worrying about what they're doing.
Exactly.
And like,
Totally.
exactly.
someone gave me this example, like, you go to a party and you're worried about what you're wearing.
Right.
And they asked you after, okay, so what was Teresa wearing? Oh, I don't know. Because you were too worried about what you were wearing. And so the other person who's worrying about that is worrying about her. So no one even cares what you're wearing, because they're worrying about themselves.
Right.
So don't worry.
So yes, you can rewear the outfit and you don't need to go put yourself in debt to buy a new outfit.
Oh
It's
my
true.
gosh.
Wear the dress again. It's
Yeah.
fine. Put a new purse with it. Put a jacket over
There
it.
you
You got a
go.
new outfit. I love that. Okay, this one's gonna be a funny one. What would you tell yourself in the sense of beauty, skin, or hair tips that you wish you had started doing sooner? Like something where you're like, girl, do this now. What would that be?
I would say get out of the tanning beds. Like, stop
I'm
laying in
guilty
the
of that.
sun. And if you do,
I was
just
too.
put on sunscreen. Like, oh my gosh, my parents used to say it all the time. And I'd be like, I'm fine. And they're like, well, yeah, but later in life. I'm like, I'm 19. I don't care about when I'm 30. But I do now. I wish I had listened to them.
I agree.
Yeah, you're like, man, that came quick.
Yeah.
Yep. Like face cream at night, eye cream, hair. Like, don't get all those extensions sewed into your hair, because you're gonna lose it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just take care of your skin.
Yeah, I had bad. I'm just gonna jump off what you guys said. The whole tanning thing. I had a really bad tanning episode where it was like, so I started tanning. I could only go for quite literally 3 minutes at a time, because that's how white my skin was, and it was so sensitive. So I would burn at like 3.5 minutes, and I built up to 10 minutes. How disgusting is that? It took me so long to build up. It's just so, and I even did the little heart tattoo.
Oh yeah. Oh, we all had that. I think I did the Playboy bunny or something like that. Like,
Typical Olivia to be blonde.
Right. I got,
my God.
and it's like down here
Yes,
too. Like,
I did the same
how
thing.
low can you get it?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
it's embarrassing now that I think about it.
I still kind of want a fake tan once in a while, but that's okay.
Oh, like, are you talking about
Like a spray tan? or
Like,
something?
do a spray
Oh.
tan.
Oh,
Just
yes.
don't do the tan embeddeds, but spray tan once in a
Yes.
while.
Oh, I spray tan often.
Same. I'm always doing like a self tanner. I'm
Yes.
so for that.
But does your boyfriend allow you to do that? Does he complain about the smell?
No.
Okay.
He helps me. He does
He
my
helps
back.
you? Oh my
He does my
gosh.
back. And you guys,
Shane, do you hear this?
this is so funny because the clothes I put on after I tan, like
ugly?
baggy pants,
Yeah.
baggy top, like, and then I have my hair up in this like dirt, bun, and I'm just like, you're so lucky. Like, you have no idea.
You tell him that.
How lucky you are that you're with me.
Yes, queen.
Like, when I'm in my like post tanning outfit, it's so funny. It's just a joke that I have with him, but yeah, he loves, he loves if I'm pale, but he loves if I'm tan too. So
Oh,
he's a sweet guy.
I love it. Okay, last advice in our little advice column, but what would you tell your toxic relationship self? So the version of you that's in a toxic relationship. You guys, the tension in the room just got so tight.
I'm like sweaty. I'm like,
You guys I wish you guys could feel it on the camera and in the podcast. The room just like tightened up so quick.
My butt cheeks
Stressing me
clenched.
out. Kat's butt cheeks are clenched.
yeah, just because I'm kind of like going back to that time in my life. It's been a while.
In your
but
mind.
In my mind,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm kind of like going back to, I think about that girl and how I was. And I say girl because I feel like I was very immature and I've grown so much since then. So, oh my gosh, I guess like, I don't know, maybe like stop trying so hard. Like some people, like you can't please everybody. And I don't know, I just tried so hard to like fix him or fix us, and I wasn't getting the same in return. So I guess, you got to know when to kind of throw in the towel.
What about you? You're still scared?
I mean, let me advise.
Yeah, you have a lot that you could say.
Yeah, mine. I would just say, don't. There's amount of like. I'm very big in giving chances to people, but when it's certain people and you're in a relationship and you're giving too many, okay, you can give 1, 2, but don't keep going back and giving him chances. Just get out when you can. If you're in a toxic relationship, if you see the red flags and you're just ignoring them and they're right in your face, don't ignore them, because I ignored them for a long time in a previous relationship and the outcome was really bad. So just, and definitely get people's advice, because everyone was telling me and I wasn't listening because I thought I knew better. So, if people kind of sense that, something's up and you're like, oh, no, it's all fine, just kind of be aware of what other people around you are picking up, because they can see it from an outside point of view.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have those really good, authentic relationships or friendships, even if it's like 1 or 2 friendships where you can really tell them the real stuff of what's going on. Because if you can really like let that come to light, then there's freedom in that. Because I think a lot of people get really stuck because they are hiding things maybe from their family or friends, and then they feel stuck and they feel alone in it. Whereas like sometimes if you would just open up and shed the light on what's happening, then even just hearing their feedback or even you just saying it out loud may allow you to have the courage to step away from those things. Yeah. Why do you think people stay in toxic relationships? What do you think is something that like keeps them there?
Security, like their insecurities, the comfort of having someone that knows you think that I don't know, it depends how long, but it becomes kind of normal. Like you get used to it, and then you think you can't find better or there's nothing better out there, and you just stay and you're like, okay, because you start to believe that maybe this is the relationship I'm supposed to be in. So
or like maybe they'll change one day.
That's the biggest one. Oh, they'll change. Oh, that was just a one-off 20 times.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. From my personal experience, I don't think people really change. I think they show you who they are. Oh, Oprah Winfrey said this, and she was like, next time somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, go off, Oprah.
Yeah.
It's so good, right? Because like especially if you're an optimist and you like to believe the best, or even if you see somebody's potential, that's always been me. I've always been able to see anyone's potential that I come across. Right. That's why it doesn't matter who I meet, what kind of job position they hold. It could be the highest or the lowest. And I like get excited and I'm like, oh, like I can see it in you, Yeah. But the thing is, not everybody is willing to go after that for themselves. So I think it's important my dad's always told me, don't live for potential, live for what is.
I love that.
Because all you really have in life in general, not just in relationships, but all you have is the current moment, right? So it's like, if you're always waiting for something, you're literally going to live your life waiting.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing I think about staying in relationships and even friendships that aren't encouraging or good for you or moving you closer to where you want to be in life is that it actually holds you back from reaching your own potential. So you think like, oh, I'm on my own path and I'm going to reach this for myself and I'm going to achieve all these goals and things, but I'm going to attach myself to all these people and I'm going to hang on like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's that saying? It's like, you are the sum of your 5 closest friends. So it's like, do you want to be, the financial status, the relational health, the fitness status of the 5 people that you hang out with the most? Because if not, you may want to just kind of demote a few people. Maybe not.
I like that demotion. Come to the boardroom today. I'm going to demote you.
And then give some promotions out too, Raise your awareness to those really good friendships and be like, you know what? You have been promoted.
I am Emily. You've been promoted.
Can you imagine if a friend did that to you?
I think it's a great idea.
Joke, guys.
We could make a TikTok out of it.
I think that would be a great idea.
We could make a TikTok out of
anything.
What is one part of adulting that nobody prepared you for?
Oh my God.
There's probably
There's
a list.
so much of it, like everything.
I never knew how to be an adult. Like, I didn't ever get anyone to teach me. I was on my own at 16 years old. And so I asked this question because I'm like, I literally just did not know how to adult. But I think the more that I am, doing this adulting thing, I think none of us really know what we're doing, right?
No.
Like,
I don't think so.
we all just like figure it out.
No clue.
We're just winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just like thrown to the wolves. Like, fend for yourself.
I interviewed my nieces and nephews, and we'll probably put it on Instagram, maybe like an IGTV or something. And it was the cutest thing. But one thing that we were talking about with them is that we were like, it's funny how when you're a kid, your parents tell you to do all these things like go to sleep, take a nap, you have a bedtime routine, you have a morning routine. And you're like, no. And then you get old enough and you're like, I need to be doing these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I wish someone would come to me in the day and go, take a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, I'd be like, you got it. Give me my milk, whatever I need. I'm going down for 2 hours. Because you don't get to nap when you're an adult and you're adulting as much as you would think.
My sister got here and it's like a 35-minute drive for them. And she was like, she mentioned something about, you know, the kids sleeping. And I was like, wait, they slept on the way here? And it's like a random time on a Saturday.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, every single one of them was out sleeping.
Wow.
And then as they were leaving that night, they put on their pajamas before they even left. And I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, they're all going to sleep in the car. And I was like, what? Like they get to sleep again?
Yeah, again.
I know.
Oh, and then my last thing, one of my nieces, I was like, if you could be, and I'll ask you guys this too. If you could be, I'll actually ask you and then tell you her answer. Okay. If you could be any age right now, either an age you've already been or an age you haven't been yet, what age would you choose and why?
Like I could be that forever. Like
no, just like for a moment, like for fun.
Oh, for the age. Oh, I know what I know now.
Ooh, that's actually really, I didn't see the nieces and nephews are old enough to ask these questions. I wasn't prepared for that.
Like,
yes, the answer to that is yes.
I know now, and just go back for a day and be that age.
Yes.
Yeah, let's say a day.
Ooh, there's so many ages.
Yeah, 24 hours.
I would say definitely, I'd go back to high school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd just do what I wanted to do for a day than what I did. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, like I'm imagining you causing chaos for some reason. Choking people out.
Well, I would just be way like not worried about saying things because I know the outcome of what happens. You know, like I'm cool and I can say it, like and not like hold myself back, and I tell everyone what I really thought. But in a good way, like I would just be me instead of like that high school kind of like, oh, I'm insecure, I don't want to say this, I don't know if I should do this, and just be completely me for a day with those people and show them my like true self.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, I like that. I was going to say teenager, like maybe 17, 18, and go back and be like you said, the secure version of myself and kind of help others like see that and try to do that themselves maybe, like not care so much about the things we cared about in high school.
So my niece, who's 13, she was like instantly answered the question. She was the first one. And she was like, I would be an infant so that all I have to do is sleep and eat all day long.
I love it.
And not have to do anything and no chores.
Wow.
I was like, that was actually genius.
See, that's great. Like the kids answer so innocently. They don't think before they speak. And they don't ask questions about details like I did. But they just give a raw, authentic answer.
Sometimes they ask funnier questions. Right. I'm like, Julia, can we put this in the show? Well, girls, it's been such a great pleasure having you guys for an episode of Girl Talk. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Of course. And everyone that is listening, if you enjoyed this episode of Girl Talk, make sure to, 1, subscribe to the show. I just realized I'd never really ask you guys to do that. But if you're listening, you should subscribe so that you get notified whenever I post a new episode. You can also rate and review the show on Apple iTunes. That's how, just really helps the show if you do that. And then everything else you need to know is in the link below. I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next episode of Evolve with Emily.